What is up, guys? Today on screen, as you can see, I want to do a little tutorial because I've been getting a lot of questions from you guys. How to get TRT. Don't judge my artwork too hard because I'm just going to try and do it really quick. Low testosterone symptoms. Now, how do you know whether you're low testosterone or not, or where do you really begin? The first thing you're going to have to do, regardless if you want to get TRT, get prescribed TRT, just figure out where your levels are at. You need to go get blood work. You do that through numerous different locations. Quest is a very popular one. LabCorp is probably one of the most known. And you're just going to go get a little blood drawn. You're just going to set up an appointment. You have to do that yourself because that is really where this all begins. And then once you figure out where your levels are at, for instance, mine when they were incredibly low was at 200 nanograms per deciliter. So 200. All right, that was what my level was at when I was incredibly low, was 200 nanograms per deciliter. Now, according to Google, the average range for men is going to be anywhere between 300 and 1,000 nanograms per deciliter, where you heard me jump back to my 200, which is incredibly low. Obviously, I'm even below the lowest end of Google's spectrum. Now, all the different doctors and medical studies are going to have this number fluctuate a little bit. I've seen some that are from 200 to 700, some that are from 300 to 900. But you get the general emphasis that you kind of want to fall somewhere in this ballpark, preferably if you're natural towards the higher end because you're just going to be better off. Now, when you have low testosterone, you're going to have low sex drive. You might have erectile dysfunction, decreased sense of well-being, depressed mood. I've definitely experienced all of these when my testosterone was at the 200 nanogram per deciliter level. Difficulties, concentration, with your memory, fatigue, moodiness, loss of muscular strength. My biggest ones for sure was low sex drive, depressed mood, motivation, if that was somewhere on here, probably like moodiness and irritability, and then concentration, memory, and then also fatigue. I was tired all the time when my testosterone was at this 200 nanogram per deciliter level. Now, I frequently get blood work done, and the emphasis behind doing that is you want to see where your levels are at, especially once, let's say, you start TRT, to assess how you're doing. Maybe you still want a little more energy. Maybe you're still not feeling your absolute best. You can talk to your doctor. And by the way, I'm not a doctor. Do not do anything without your doctor's supervision. I'm just trying to direct you guys in the best way of how to take care of your health. So maybe your doctor advises you bump up your testosterone a little bit to help combat whatever side effect or whatever you're going through. Who's to say what your doctor exactly would say? So once step one is done, which is you get the blood work. Here's some blood droplets, all right? You go get your blood work done, you find out what your testosterone level is at, whether that's 100 nanograms per deciliter, which would be incredibly low. Maybe you're like a 400 nanogram per deciliter. Maybe you're on the high end and you're like 1,000, okay? It's hard to say where you're going to be at, but you need to go get tested to assess where your levels are at, because no doctor, especially a general doctor, I'm going to jump into that in a second, is going to go get you, first off, blood work or prescribe you anything right off the bat without knowing where your levels are, because they need to know how you are internally. They need to know your estrogen levels. They need to know how your thyroid is. They need to know your liver. They need to examine everything that is going on inside you. This is where you take the next step. You went and got your blood work done from either LabCorp somewhere, set it up. You can do at-home visits. There's certain places that'll actually come to your home, draw your blood, take it to the lab, and have it all tested for you. You don't even have to go in. Or there's simple ones where you pay online, you go in the next day or even the same day into the lab, they draw the blood. They do everything for you. It's very, very simple. I know a lot of people just think it's a big hassle. But trust me, when we're talking about these symptoms, does any of these on this list sound good? Body fat, bone mass, hair loss. A lot of people don't realize that they are going through it because they've never went and got tested. So they think that that's just how every other guy feels that's on the planet. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble, or hopefully I am bursting your bubble so you can become more aware. If you are experiencing these things, it is not normal. You should go get checked, and it might be something that is due to low testosterone. Now, once that first step is done, we will head over to Prometheus HRT, where if you guys use the discount KennyKO, it will give you a free doctor consultation and a discount. So I definitely emphasize you guys do that, because when you're talking to the doctor, he can figure out if you need Anavar, D-ball, HGH, testosterone, and then they can do a full protocol to help figure out. So this is the homepage you will see when you first come to Prometheus HRT. It's very basic. And what you're going to want to do is go right up here to apply. And you can see right on their screen, there's going to be 8 to 9 steps. And you're just going to go through. You're going to fill out your first name and last name. You're going to give your signature. Make sure you read over all the information. This isn't to incriminate you. I want to make that stated, especially in my TRT video. I get a lot of people that are scared to talk to these doctors about what they're taking because they think there's going to be some repercussions that come with it. But the doctors want to know, and you should answer everything truthfully, where your levels are at, what you're currently taking, what you have taken in the past, what you plan to take, so they can figure out what the best course of action will be for taking care of your health. Now, the biggest mistake people make is they'll go through this full form, the 9 steps, submit it, and they won't get their blood work. And they're curious why they're not getting their TRT, why they're not getting followed up with. You have to get your blood work done. That's that's where it all begins. That's the emphasis of this video. You have to get your blood work done. Now, I would go over the cost here too, so you can see I'm not sure if it's covered with health insurance or not. That's something you will have to talk about with the doctor when you have your consultation. But it would be like $94 a month with HRT without the HCG, which HCG helps keep your testes full, keeps your test naturally producing. So that way, if you want to, say, have kids down the road, it's not to say you couldn't throw it on later on. So it's up to you at the point. And also, I'm not a doctor, so talk with your doctor who you're going to be talking through on Prometheus HRT on what they think the best steps for you would be. Or you can go with the HRT with HCG, which is $134 per month. And the packages come very professional to your door. So one thing I love is obviously you get your testosterone, you get your AI, which will help control estrogen if you were ever to have any flare-ups of estrogen. You get your syringes, your shipping's included, no monthly fees, no memberships, no contracts. So you can stop anytime you want. And then as for refills, it was actually very simple for me. So here I didn't notice, but on their site, you can fill out, let's say you're coming towards the end of your supply of testosterone or whatever you're prescribed, Anavar, D-ball, HGH, something else that's out there, maybe some peptide, TB500, BPC 157. You can fill out the date, your email, your contact information, and then they'll get that refill going out for you. Now, for my case, like I said, I didn't know that was a thing because they reached out to me on my email before my supply was even running out, just to let me know that they knew based on the time frame and what I was prescribed and what dosages, as soon I was going to be out. And that was nice to have that reminder. So if you little happy individuals want your TRT, first thing first, you need your blood work. 100%. I can't say that enough. You need blood work, and that is all to figure out where your levels are at, so you know, and when you talk to the doctor, they can prescribe you what they see fit for whatever your goals are, your ambitions, based on your level. Then once that is done, you will go over to Prometheus HRT, which is where you can use the discount code KennyKO. It not only supports the channel, guys, but it also, of course, gives you the free doctor consultation, which is huge, because why would you want to spend your time paying for a doctor when you can just have it for free and they can cover everything for you, all the expenses, what your protocol would be, how to go about it, what to change. It really just sets you up for success. So that's going to be the first step. Then you'll go to the apply, fill out all the information. Of course, once again, this is after your blood work is completed. So if you guys look back on my TRT video, I told the doctor everything I had been doing, all the cycles I had run in the past, along with everything I was doing currently, what concerns I had for my health, how I was feeling. You're going to have to know all these things. You have to be able to be aware of what potential symptoms you're feeling, whether you're feeling fatigued and tired all the time. Maybe you have a low sex drive, you're in a relationship, or you're single and you just have zero sex drive, depressed mood, maybe motivation, something along those lines. You're going to have to know how you're feeling and convey that to the doctor. And then bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself some TRT. You're happy. You get that all the time. Now, you could come off TRT if you wanted it. TRT, I wouldn't say is a lifelong commitment, but I wouldn't say this is for like a younger demographic necessarily. And what I'm trying to say is, and once again, I'm not a doctor, TRT should be something that you aim to do for the rest of your life, because maybe you've taken too many cycles in your past and your testosterone levels are low. Maybe naturally you just have some condition that causes your testosterone to be low and you need that extra bump. There's a lot of situations that could take place, but it's not to say that once you start TRT, you're going to be on TRT for life. Just if you were to stop TRT, you're going to have to run a PCT, which is the post-cycle therapy. And then that's going to jumpstart your testosterone production back up again. And that's where, if we went back over to the cost here, HCG is going to be one of the compounds you'd probably utilize to get your testosterone production going again, along with some other things. But I just want to state that in case you were curious whether you start it, you have to be on it forever. But don't think of TRT as a cycle. I want to definitely state that. It's not like a 8 to 12 week cycle. You hop on TRT, you're going to get super jacked. Let's see if I can draw like a bicep or something. You know, That'll be a hand, you know, some vascularity or something. But you're not going to get super jacked off a TRT cycle. That's not the purpose. There's a big misconception about TRT, and people think it makes you super jacked, but really assessing and fixing your testosterone is to fix these issues. Not to say you wouldn't have an improvement in your physique, maybe a decrease in body fat, more muscle mass a little bit. If you're like super deficient, maybe you're on the low end where I was, like 200 nanograms per deciliter, or you're some weird cases where you're 21 nanograms per deciliter or 100 nanograms per deciliter. It's going to be very, very hard to build a masculine looking physique without testosterone in the body. Now, free test is going to be the most important by far. But jumping on TRT, you have to think of it, you're putting yourself in a normal range for most men, which isn't going to put you super physiological, except for compared to yourself where your levels were naturally low. So you may notice a little difference. It's not going to be anything crazy, but it's going to fix all of these issues and many more issues, and that is the main reason for it. So I hope that helped you guys answer some questions, how to get TRT, where to begin. Once again, just get the blood work, then go to Prometheus HRT, use discount KennyKO, get the process started. They will contact you, make sure they know that I sent you, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, of course, you guys can contact me on Instagram, RealKennyKO, or my Half Wicked Labs Instagram. I'll put both of those on the screen here for you. Contact me anytime. I can't answer every single DM just because of how many I get, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys all in the next one.